to the Release Show. I'm your host, Brittany Sconyers. On today's show, we have Shaterial Starnes. She is the owner of Starnes Group, a financial coach, published author, trainer, facilitator, and consultant. She previously worked for one of the world's leading telecommunication companies, managing their most expensive accounts in 3 warehouses across the country. After discovering her love for education, she became a classroom teacher and created rich learning experiences for her students. Starnes ultimately recognized her ability to empower and educate through financial literacy. She chose this path after discovering the adverse effect of a lack of financial knowledge on an individual and their generation. This realization compelled her to make a conscious decision to bring about change by helping individuals and business owners recognize the root cause of their financial problems. She has also been a speaker at several conferences and conducted several financial literacy workshops for numerous organizations. The Starnes Group offers financial literacy workshops, training, and one-on-one consultations. One can consider her as a financial farmer, helping individuals and business owners plant financial seeds for a bountiful harvest via the Starnes Group. Let's welcome Shaterial.
Brittany, thank you so much for having me. I am super excited. Thank you again. And I am looking forward to this podcast and just, empowering your guests. I really am.
Yes. Yay, I'm looking forward to it too. I want to know all the knowledge that you have because I'm sure I can intake some of it myself. From your description, one could deduce that you're a financial expert who wishes to bring out the best in businesses and individuals. What convinced you that this is the path worth taking?
Brittany, I can just only go from my past experiences. Several years ago, my husband, we were part of a blended family. He had a massive stroke that left him paralyzed on his right side. So he had to learn how to talk. He had to learn how to walk again. So we had 3 teenagers and an infant. And we went from a 2-income household to 1. So imagine, kids still need things, bills still need to be paid. But one of the things that it taught me is that my husband, inevitably, he would have still had the stroke. But if we would have been better prepared financially, it would have been a difference. And so the short of that is that I took that situation and literally made lemonade out of lemons and decided I never wanted to be in a situation like that before. Not only did I not want to be in that situation, I didn't want anyone else to be in that situation. Because let's face it, we are all going to face a life-altering event. It's inevitable.
Oh, yes. That is so true. And I do think a lot of us are not financially prepared for things happen, bad things that come and happen in your life. And I think more and more people are really starting to kind of figure that out. I know that there's a lot of different financial coaches out here. I will say that my husband and I went through the Dave Ramsey thing. I know I'm pretty sure you're familiar with him.
So did I.
But yay. So it's like you learn so much through that. And we're working this year to definitely get rid of debt and get on that clean path of financial freedom.
That is awesome. And I tip my hat to you guys because that is a huge undertaking. But I'm telling you, it's going to make a world of difference for your family and generations to come.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. Not to have to pay something every month. Oh, my gosh. It's going to be such a relief to put that money somewhere else, invest it, put in a savings, invest it for our children's future, all of the above that you can do with that money. Being that we also have a baby on the way. So that money will definitely be used in many ways. Thank you.
And absolutely. And Brittany, I just want to say, I'm sorry.
Okay. No worries.
I was just going to say, with life-altering events, it's not always a bad thing. It could be your children going off to college, you're having a child, job loss, all of those things, alters your life.
It does. According to statistics, 20% of business fell in the first year. Why do you think this is so?
I think a lot of it is tied to funding, not having access to capital, and then also not having systems in place and just not knowing how to run a business. It takes a lot to run a business, and it's not for the faint at heart. It's a lot of long hours. A lot of times you're lonely, but I would definitely say financing and access to capital is probably some of the top things.
And I think people don't really know how to get that access. There's a lot of different fundings out here. The applications can be so complicated that it discourages you to, apply for, even through the coronavirus. I know they had a lot of funding, people that were trying to fund small businesses and help them get off the ground and help them through this time that they were going through. And people just didn't know how to fill out those applications. I saw a post like, is there anybody that can help me fill out this application? So I think education is really big. And if you're ever going to own a business, you definitely need to have some kind of business education behind you in order to be successful. I don't say go out and get a business degree, but I do say take some courses to help you and guide you. Before starting a business, because it's not easy. I've started businesses, I've failed, I've learned a lot of things myself. I'm a fashion designer, author. I've done a lot of things. And so you definitely have to invest in yourself when you have a business. And investing in yourself is finding someone, a mentor or classes or something to help you bring your dream to fruition. And so that you can have the foundation and not just try to jump into something that that you might fail at. People fail all the time, but it's about getting back up and continuing that dream. Don't give up when you fail, because when you give up, that's it. And a lot of people don't like 9 to 5s. I'm agree with myself. I don't like 9 to 5s. I am currently working one, but I don't like it. And I want one day to walk away from my job and be able to live my full purpose. And so it takes time, and people have to invest in themselves. It's very important to invest in you.
Yes, yes. Oh, you said a mouthful there, Brittany, and I can't say enough about that. I do also want to add to that is a lot of times with the funds that are available through the CARES Act, their businesses are not set up properly. They business license, they may not necessarily have EIN, which is an employee ID number. They do not have business bank accounts. And to access these funds, you have to have your business set up as a proper business, not as a hustle. So the applications are not necessarily difficult. It's just that a lot of times people have not set them up properly and they have not been able to access those funds. So that's one of the things that I do too, as well as educate people on setting their business up properly and then helping them to complete the applications so they can get access to the funds, because the payment protection program is completely forgivable. I've received 2 rounds, and my first round, I've had it totally forgiven.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, that's good to know. I should have I should have applied for it, but I was like, you know what? I kind of took 2020 off from my business anyways, and I just lay low, but I still should have probably tried to get
Too
some
late.
funding. Huh?
It's not
It's not
too
too
late. And
late?
if you do
Okay.
want to, just you and I can have a separate conversation outside of this, and I can walk you through the
Okay.
steps, because it's the same
Okay.
across the country. We just have to find a business or a bank or a credit union that will accept your application. But we'll talk about that.
Okay,
I'll
good,
take
good,
care of
good.
you. I
That's good
got
to
you.
know. Yes, thank you. What are some of the best ways that startups can avoid financial problems in the first few months of operation?
I think for the most, if you have funding that you can actually put into your business, and then also don't underestimate free resources. Small business development centers are across the country, and you can access how to set up a business plan. They can also give you additional resources, whether it's funding and also SCORE, SCORE. SCORE has mentors, and this is a free service that they will actually partner you with a mentor, and they will help you with your business. SCORE is oftentimes a lot of individuals that have retired, business owners, and they have a wealth of information that they can give to you. So what I tell folks is that access to small business development centers, Also business centers across the country. There's so many resources out there. And Brittany, I can get that information to you, whether people are in
Okay.
Florida, Tennessee, or what have you, they can access these resources. And more often than not, they're free.
Wow, you are full of knowledge, honey. We are going to be working together. Yes, I need this. Do you mind sharing with us some of the most significant difficulties you've ever faced while fixing a company's finances?
I think just lack of resources. Tony Robbins says something very profound. He said businesses are not necessarily not successful because they do not have funds or access to resources. They just do not, they're not resourceful. So you have to make a cognizant decision to be able to access resources. And what do I mean by that? Just what, as I talked about, the small business development centers, the CARES Act, it's not enough for us to just stick our head in the sand, Brittany. We got to be proactive. Ask someone. It's too many Facebook groups out here. It's too much information on the internet. So I think one of the main things that I've seen with people is that we are not necessarily comfortable with asking for help. Being a business owner and being successful in a business owner is admitting to some of your shortcomings. Listen, there are some things that are just not my wheelhouse. I actually took advantage of some services that we had here for free and had someone help me with forecasting. That's not my wheelhouse. Now,
Right.
financial literacy, the foundation pieces, I can do that all day, but be willing to say that that is not something that I'm not good at. And you mentioned before, seeking out mentors. There is so the Chamber of Commerces have access to resources. These business centers, we have a Pathway Women's Business Center across the country, but there are over 500 small business centers across the country. And most of these classes are free. You can get QuickBooks, you can learn how to put together a business plan, you name it. So
See, you know
we have a lot
what?
of
That was
resources.
one of my Yeah, that was one of my weaknesses too, is asking for help. I felt
Mhm.
like I knew everything. I wanted to do it on my own, to have this independent mind, like I'm just going to do it. And I think that's my problem. That's why I felt at things in life is that I'm just afraid of asking for help. But like starting this show has really opened up my mind. I've had other people on here who do other things with businesses and things like that. And so it's really opened up my mind. I was like, I don't need a mentor. A mentor for what? That's the kind of mentality I had, not to be like arrogant or anything, but I really felt like I knew enough myself. Even sometimes when I'm putting together something for my business and I ask for help by others, it's like they're not telling me what I want to hear, right? And I don't think they're they're understanding my vision. So I'm like, no, I'll stick to what I like. And so it just to me turns out to be so much better. When I'm asking about, oh, what about this logo? What about this? It's like their vision is not on my level. I'm super creative. And so it's like, I don't know. Like I feel like when I have asked people, it's just not been something that I'm just like, okay, I understand. No, it's like maybe I'm asking the wrong people. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, and also you mentioned something else that you're very creative. You're a very visual person, I would assume. I have a brother and a
Yeah.
niece that's very creative. So I'm speaking of just like foundational things that within a business, like how do you prepare for your taxes? How do you with marketing, with how to market. It's a science almost marketing, especially when Facebook and Instagram, they're changing their algorithms. So
Mhm.
those are more sort of the things that I'm speaking of. The
Okay.
forecast, how to set metrics, how to scale your business. So for me, if I had to do it all over again, Brittany, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I probably wouldn't have never went to college. I have an undergrad degree and a master's degree and debt. Okay. But I would have invested in a coach or a mentor in something very specific, whether it's sales, real estate, or what have you. And I would have just paid them the money so I can catapult myself years in advance. So I think that's the key. Just understanding where our shortcomings are because I used to have a hard time accepting help, but I realized that this is something I've never did before. So I do
Right.
need help. But in terms of that creative piece, I get that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you
Doing,
mentioned
be quiet.
no worries. Um, you mentioned something. Darn, I was just thinking about it. Um, Maybe it'll come back to me. I won't waste any time on it. Besides being a financial saver, you're also a public speaker. What inspired you to become a public speaker?
I think the fact that I've always liked to speak. I'm dramatic,
Mhm.
and you probably have gathered that. But I'm dramatic, and also I was in high school. I was part of musical theater, and I just loved. We did a lot of plays, Tolstoy plays, and things like that. We did a lot of things like that. So I've always loved to speak, and I think that if you can convey your message and you're passionate about it and you're empowering people, so those are some of the things that led me to be to actually do public speaking.
You know, when I was in college, I took public speaking, and my teacher would always try to put me first because she knew I was shy and I didn't want to speak in front of the class. So she would always call me first when we had to do our little, 1 minute speeches or 3 minute speeches. And I would be like, why are you doing this? But it was really great that she did that. At first I didn't understand it. And I feel like she was picking on me, but she's still a friend of mine now. But it really helped me a little bit. But I would love to do some public speaking and motivational speaking because I feel like I have it. Like when I'm in the car, like you give me a subject or something happen, like I'm just like talking and I'm amazed at myself at what I'm saying, right? But I'm not recording myself or anything, but I'm in the car like, wow, maybe I need to start, speaking at some events and tell people about my life and my story and, inspire others. It's good that we are telling our stories and what we do to help inspire others. So I'm going to have to, look into that. It's good that you're doing public speaking along with your literacy company because it's very important, to have that skill set when you want a business.
Brittany, I think that you will be great at public speaking. And then also, when I read your story, people need to hear that because what I
Yes.
admire so much about you and your story is that you took a risk and you probably had people in your ear like, no, don't do that. And you took a risk. And as a result of that risk, it paid off. And that took a lot of courage.
Yes.
And what I want people to understand is this, like, even now when I speak, um, I fear rises up in me. But courage does not mean the absence of fear. So we still push
Right.
forward. And you never know. A lot of times we go through things and it's not because of us, but it's for the next person. So the fact that you were willing to make those sacrifices, did not have anywhere to live, but said, you know what, I'm going to do what I have to do to move the needle. Look what happened.
Yes.
And it
Yes. And
changed
I
your
did have
life.
people. It did. And I did have people in my ear. My mom was the number one person. It was to the point where I honestly had to stop talking to my mom. It was so bad because my mom and I are best friends. And so I talk to my mom all the time. We talk every day. And to have to stop that communication because she's just like, just come back home. But it's all good. Now she see that I was able to get through it and she see me now.
And it paid off. Look at you now, and you were able to fulfill your dreams. And this is just only the beginning.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Now, let's talk about your book, Navigating the Credit Repair Maze. Can you tell us what it's about and what readers may learn from it?
Yes, actually, my book is a very simple toolkit, and it shows you how to repair your own credit. That's something, Brittany, that a
Okay.
lot of people can do on their own, especially if it's simple things. And the book actually it's only about 70 pages. 50 pages are leaned towards showing you how to read credit reports, tells you what a credit score is made up of, how they negative items impact your credit, and also how to go about deleting them. The remaining 20 pages or so are templates that show you a step-by-step process of how to go about having things removed from your credit report on your own. And I created this because I wanted, everybody's not able to afford a financial coach or a credit repair system. There's tons across the country. So people are willing to do the work because it's a process. And again, it's not for the faint at heart, but if they're willing to do the work, they have something very simple. It's not a long read and it's short and to the point. So I think that it could be beneficial to folks because they can repair their credit on their own.
That is great. Can you please let everyone know where they can get that book?
I'm sorry, faded out.
Yes, can you please let everyone know where they can purchase your book?
Absolutely. My website, coachstarnes.com. You can go on my website and you can purchase the book and on my website. So I think it's a great book and very simple read and easy to follow as well.
That's good. Everybody go out there and get that book if you want to fix your credit. She even has the templates in there, so it's super easy. You have no excuse. Let's get our credit scores up and start to live a financial free life.
Absolutely.
Most financial experts proceed through their careers without authoring a single piece of literature. What convinced you to write a book?
I just saw a need where there was just a gap where people did not know how to, people needed help repairing their credit. And again, as I said before, they were not able to afford to pay someone for that service. So for the ones that were willing to do the work and could not afford to pay it, I said, let me create something that's very simple for them, that's easy to follow. And that was my mindset behind it.
That's good. Who or what would you say has made the most influence in your life, making you the woman you are today?
I would say my grandmother. And just because of the type of woman that she is, she has a sixth grade education and just her stick with itness, her never give up attitude, and just her belief in me as a person. You know, your grandmama think you can walk on water, girl. So it's just her always, you know, my mom supports me as well, but my grandmother is she's something special, and she just turned 91 this year, so she's a character.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, and lives
91.
on her
That is
own.
incredible.
She lives on her own,
Wow.
Brittany. Lives on her own, gets around. She's a character now. She needs her own show.
That's well, we need to bring her on here.
Yes.
What do you think the future holds for you? Do you plan to write another book, give a TED talk, or anything of that sort?
Would love to give a TED talk, and also would I'm writing another book. It's about how to build business credit, unlocking the keys to business credit, because I think that is crucial, and a lot of people do not know about business credit. And also I am delving into real estate development. Really want to empower people through home ownership. So I'm just believing God for big things, things that are outside my comfort
Yes,
zone. So I'm like, Lord, I'm a conduit. Just use me.
that's right. Let the Lord use you. Please let everyone know the current promotions you have with your company and what they need to take advantage of the offers.
Brittany, thank you so much. Actually, I partnered with an organization called Pathway Women's Business Center, and Pathway received funds through the CARES Act. And as a result of that, I teach personal and business credit classes through this organization every month. And I can offer to your listeners and to your network for free because I'm able to give a discount code that will enable the class to be free. So I would love for your folks to take advantage of this.
Okay, please let them know how they can take advantage of it.
Yes, what they can do is that I can forward the information to you, and I can also put the links. I could give you the links, and all they have to do is register. Classes are available through July of this year, so they can easily register. They'll have all the information, and they can sign up. Get signed up. My next my business credit class will be April the 11th next month, and then I alternate. So the personal credit class will be in May, and so on.
Okay. Okay. And all of that is on your website, like the dates and everything?
It's not on my
Oh,
website because it is I am
a
a
separate.
coach through Pathway Women's Business Center, so it's not on my
Okay.
website, but I can forward the links. If there's another way that you can let me know to be able to send it out, or your audience to be able to access it. It's just a matter of, in fact, I could post the link in the chat, or what you let me know what's the best way to be able to get the information to your audience.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is have my team put it at the end of your bio.
Okay.
And all the links and everything will be there. So guys, if you are interested in her classes, please feel free to look at this video, and there'll be links at the bottom that you can click on and easily access and register for the classes, okay?
Absolutely.
Lastly, what financial advice do you have for individuals who wish to start a new business?
First, I would ask them to research, find out who your target audience is. Then find out like who is working in the same space as you. What are they doing? How are they doing it? I'm not saying to mimic them, but don't recreate the wheel. I will say also, the third thing is go out and join Facebook groups. People will talk in Facebook groups about their pain points. All business entrepreneurship and business is you're solving a problem in some form of fashion. So if you can stick to those things, just doing your research, finding out your target audience, that way you can drill down. And then third, addressing pain points, you are ahead of the game and you are actually setting yourself up for success. But you got to do the research first.
Guys, you definitely have to connect with Sharita. She is so amazing. Please let them know how they can connect with you.
Please feel free to reach out to me at coachstarnes.com. You can schedule consultations, or I can be reached at 615-593-2135. And again, we will have those links for you guys. You have no excuse because the classes are free. So please take advantage of these opportunities.
Right. That's right. You have no excuse because these classes are free. Okay. They are free and really free. I know some things in life people say are free and they're really not free, but they are free. So thank you so much for being on the Release Show. I look forward to continue to actually build a business relationship with you. And seeing where you go from there. I heard you did mention that you're going to be authoring another book, and I hope to see you on TED Talk.
I would love
we got to
that.
get that TED Talk together.
Yes, speak
All
it.
right, great. Yes, speak it into existence.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, well, thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you guys for tuning into the Release Show. See you next time.